a matinee affair as the Goldeneyes host the New York Sirens.
Kaylee Osborne, she has been sensational this season, Blake.
Yeah, she's been incredible, and just the development that she's had in a second year in the PWHL, she's been lights out for the Sirens.
On the flip side, at the other end, between the pipes, Amarantz Mashmeyer, the monster mash as we were talking about.
The monster mash, but she's been able to keep her team calm in these stressful situations. She's great. She brings that light, that energy, and I feel like she'll probably have a great game at home today.
There's some momentum here for Vancouver. Quick shot. And Osborne will hang on for a quick whistle as Michaela Cava flips that one. Sarah Fillier takes that one into the attacking zone. Tried to center that one out to Tchaikovsky. Along the wall. Kept in at the line by Fillier. Dancing around. She's bumped off the puck. Battle for it as O'Brien comes up with it. Maintaining New York possession behind the net. There's Ashton Bell, the captain, sending it down the ice. And the Goldeneyes and Sirens will both go off for changes. Osborne will play that behind the net. Simpson plays that one up through the middle. Into the attacking zone. Levis will be the first one there. Tied up by Rosenthal.
Levitz has been having a really good last couple of games, and she's first on the puck, and she brings that energy. They're all hungry.
Strong game against Vancouver last week at the line. Sent right back in. Mashmeyer plays that behind the net. Flipped out off the wall, nobody home. Picked up by Gardner. Vancouver's got numbers. 4-on-2, Thompson. Oh, it flipped over her stick and she takes a spill.
Oh, that's unfortunate. You had 4 numbers, a lot of space, net drive. That was everything Vancouver needed for an opportunity to score.
Rosenthal tied up by a triplet of Sirens. Behind the net, Bernard takes a hard bump by Venisheva. Scrum for it. Venisheva trying to get a hold of it as New York looks to try to clear. Vancouver persisted along the wall. Finally knocked out as Hannah Miller joins the fray. Here's Channel Watkins. Steps in across the line, centering off a skate. And that goes awry.
You're probably going to look to get some shots, right? If you're Vancouver, you want to get some touches on net just to feel a little confidence. And maybe you want to look to shoot that one.
Not try to be too fancy, just try to keep it simple.
Simplicity, yeah, yes. Right. That's what Brian was talking about. We don't need to be fancy. We can just be patient, work the puck, let the puck do the work.
As I say to my kids, less is more, Blake.
Keep it super simple.
Keep it simple. The old KISS theory, yes. Along the wall. Played back, Cava tried to clear that one. That skipped over her stick. Back inside, New York pressuring it in deep. Bell back out on the ice. The Karvinen, back of the line, put on net, traffic in front, loose puck scrambling in front. But Vancouver tries to temper the noise. Moved around. That goes back to the line, centering feed off a stick. And Vancouver will look to go back the other way. Samaskevich flips that one in.
Yeah, Vancouver really needed a change. There was a lot of offensive pressure from New York.
Stuck in their own end there. As Thompson goes back to chase that one. Samaskevich. Brother Mackey, a Stanley Cup winner with the Florida Panthers. Twin brother at that. Rosenthal.
It's quite the family.
Yeah, no kidding. You talk about talent. There's a bump along the wall by Gardner. And pushed up. Here's Fecto, knocked away by Bard, and Vancouver will look to turn in transition. Here's Rosenthal, fans on their feet, acknowledging the hard work as Rosenthal continues to dig in. Back at the line, kept in by Bard, puts it on net. Osborne covers it up for the whistle, and we played just over 4 minutes in this one. Off the draw. Here comes Fillier with some pace, hounded by Jakes. Jakes comes up with it. Receives that from Channel Watkins. That's pushed up. Benisheva along the wall. Here's Hannah Miller. Down the left side. It's a 2-on-2. To the other side. Boreen took a shot. Steered aside by Osborne. New York will skate that one out of danger. Hooked on the play. No call. They'll play on. Out in front. Backhander.
Great.
Oh, it's in.
Great.
They score. How about that? A much-needed goal for Vancouver. And they are on the board. Abby Boreen doing work.
Yeah, that was a great second effort from Abby Boreen, keeping it into the offensive zone, right? You don't give up on plays, and Coach Adelsky was talking about compete. That is what I want. You see the puck maybe about to squeak out of the offensive zone. Abby Boreen says, no way, I'm going to pass it across, drive to the net, gets a backhand on it, and then finishes the rebound over Osborne. That is a second and third effort. That is exactly what Brian Adelsky wants to see.
That's a hustle goal, and the Goldeneyes feeling good. Some positive momentum. Their first periods have been anything but on that recent road trip, but they've got the early lead less than 5 minutes into this opening frame.
And that's probably something that they talked about in the locker room, right? We got to come out hard. We got to get on the board first. We don't want to be chasing games like we have been.
Big hit. Levis is down, and she's shaken up behind the play. Back at the line. Vancouver digging in. Sent back in behind the net. Mashmeyer will play that one. Astrakowski gives chase on that pursuit. Back at the line. Bourbonnais flips that one and handled with ease by Mashmeyer. New York wins the draw. Played around. Pushed up. Gerard, what a start to the season Gerard's having.
Yeah, 3 goals, a hat trick in your first game. That's incredible.
Already tripled her goal output from last year in just 4 games.
I actually got the chance to talk to her before the game, and she was talking about how easy it is to play on this team. The youth, the excitement, everybody's gelling, so maybe this is what she's feeling.
There is an energy, and we talked to Greg Fargo about this prior to this one, and just saying how it almost feels easier coaching a group that's just bought in with that sort of energy with this group.
The bought in, the youthful energy, the rookies that you have on the team that are just excited to be here, right? I mean, look at this atmosphere. Why wouldn't you get up every single game to play?
You know who likes having fun? Everybody. Everybody. It's a lot easier to go to work when you're having a good time.
I just want everybody to have a good time.
Exactly. Here's Benisheva. Oh, knocked off the puck. Kept it at the line. There's Greco. Shot just wide of the net. What a chance there by Bell. As New York finally gets it out. Here's Vespa. Cross ice over as Jinsey Rose sends it in. Vespa back behind the net. Along with the Fecto working in there. Here's Hannah Miller. Local BC product. Grew up in these parts. Sent down the ice. And icing is the call. Mashmeyer makes that save. Goldeneyes lead it 1-0.
Vancouver has been actually struggling in the faceoff dot a lot.
Yeah, and go figure, they're leading. So sometimes stats can't always trust the analytics, right? As the analytics people say. Sobalski, zip it. 12:07 to go here in period number 1. Vancouver in the offensive zone, continuing on the attack. There's Karvinen pushing hard in front of the net. What a chance there. And Fillier, she is a buzzsaw working in her own end, pushing it up ahead. Here's Casey O'Brien. Another top pick, the 3rd overall pick. Oh, what a save! Oh, my goodness! Mashmeyer, can you believe it? There is the save of the week.
That's how you keep your team in a game right there. That was an easy backhand tap-in that she just denied. Unbelievable.
steal a line from The Simpsons. That's a paddling right there, Blake.
That was unbelievable.
Oh, look at this. Here comes New York for more. Right in front of the net. Oh, what a chance. Another one. Mashmeyer saying, What a start. Tripped up, and we're going to get a power play for the home team. As Rosenthal wins the draw for Vancouver. Back to the line. Jakes missed the shot. Misfire on that one. Trying to maintain possession. Bouncing puck. Jakes comes back up with it.
She still has it. That was wild.
A weird series of events there for Sophie Jakes.
That's what happens when you don't panic.
Yes. Hakuna Matata, right? From behind the net. Benisheva thought she had it. Lost that one. Back to the line. No one home. As Jakes will take it at center ice and regroup. A wonky start to this power play for Vancouver. And sent right back down the ice by Levis, who has returned to this game. So that's encouraging to see for the New York Sirens.
Yeah, she's a huge piece of their second line as a right winger.
From behind the net, Thompson. Here's Karvinen. 7th overall pick in this year's draft, but an absolute legend in international hockey. With 3 Olympic medals in 4 Olympic appearances in Karvinen's career. Look at this move here. Karvinen dancing around, showing some of that world-class skill. Trying to make it a 2-0 lead. Back in front, here's Thompson dancing around. Backhander in front. Oh, Cabo on the doorstep, couldn't put it home.
Great flair from Thompson. I mean, she started the breakout just to have the touch to do a backhand toe drag across the crease for a chance.
Vancouver sports fans have fallen in love with the skating ability of Quinn Hughes just down the street. And I think they're quickly falling in love with Claire Thompson's ability to also dance and dangle out on the ice as well with her skating abilities.
Yeah, and you got to add Sophie Jakes in there too. Their defensive
Absolutely.
prowess offensively, I mean, they're kind of carrying the load for their team right now.
As the kids might say, mad skills, Blake, mad skills. Down the wing with a head of steam, putting it in front, no one there. As Lappin was trying to make something happen. And Vancouver kind of coming up over on that power play.
Yeah, no shots on the power play for them, and that's probably something that they're going to want to work on in that practice time that they have after this game.
Lappin battling as Izzy Daniel out on the ice. There's Darcy Lappin. And Mashmeyer will cover that one up with 8:40 to go here in period number 1. Goldeneyes up 1-0. Karvinen tried to make it 2. Back with more in a moment. James Cybulski, Blake Bolden, bringing you the action as the Vancouver Goldeneyes lead it 1-0 here. Face off inside the Vancouver end as the Goldeneyes will clear it, and it's sent right back in. And with a head of steam, Greg Fargo talking about that speed and tenacity that New York has shown in the early going, and we're seeing a lot of that evidenced here on this shift already.
Yeah, and it's all about winning loose puck battles and 50-50 battles, and you see the effort that New York is put into winning those races.
Shot on net, deflection, and handled by Mashmeyer once again. Boy, has Emirates Mashmeyer come to play this season.
It's very fun to watch.
Behind the net, Thompson battling for it. Sent back to the line. Bourbonnais from the point. Sends it back in behind the net. Rosenthal battling for it with Wheeler. And there's Koltenkova, the first overall pick in 2025. Got tossed from the game for a big hit just 2 nights ago in Seattle and really changed the game. Not the way the Sirens were hoping, but Greg Fargo talked about that being a teachable moment.
A teachable moment, and that's when you realize there's just a little bit of game management that you have to have. Realizing that you don't need to go in full blast into the boards against someone. Watching where your stick is, where your hands are extending. And you definitely learn.
More pressure, a wraparound attempt by Wheeler. Taken down as Mashmeyer made that save. But Koltenkova already in the first few weeks of this season, we've already seen she's got the ability to play physical. She can score. She checks all the boxes, what you'd want from a first overall pick.
Right, and you don't want to take that away from her, right? You want to keep that excitement, that physical presence, that moxie that she brings.
Momentum certainly felt like it has shifted these last couple of minutes here for New York. They have had Vancouver hemmed in the last 2 minutes or so here.
Where you kill off a penalty, and sometimes that's the way it goes. You kind of suck the momentum and you realize that you can get back into this game.
Greco pushing that one at the line. Greco finally gets that one out. As Tchaikovsky pushes that one for O'Brien. Couldn't handle that feed. And back to the neutral zone. Greco reaching for that one. And offside the call. And there was a real argument by a lot of observers who thought that Emrys Mashmeyer was the best goalie in the league before she went down to injury last year. And then ultimately the rise of Gwyneth Phillips, who Ottawa Charge fans know all too well about, and how this story and how Mashmeyer landed here in Vancouver. But boy, she has been fantastic. Look at Izzy Daniel.
That's a story you like to hear, right? Overcoming adversity, you get an injury, you come back and you're feeling better than ever.
Hollywood loves a redemption story, Blake. You know all about that.
Absolutely.
In Southern California.
You cheer for the underdog, and she's not even an underdog.
They make movies about that, for sure. Here's Channel Watkins behind the net. Plus, not to mention that Mashmeyer also with an Olympic gold medal in her collection. Look at this move. Benisheva trying to go short side. Great blocker save made by Osborne there with just over 5 to go here in period number 1.
That was a great chance by Vancouver, trying to tilt the ice the other way.
What a chance. Bell on the backhand pushes it over to Samaskevich. Pushing that one up back to Benisheva. What a chance there. Benisheva, what an asset she was during the playoffs for the Ottawa Charge on that run to the final. Here's Kaltenkova. Sent that one over. And fanned on the shot was Bourbonnais. Here's Hannah Miller pushing this one up. Samaskevich. Brian Adelski calls her the Swiss Army knife here for the Vancouver Goldeneyes. She can play anywhere. Playing physical here as well. Battling with Bourbonnais. And Bourbonnais flips that one up into neutral zone action. Rosenthal knocked that down, lost that to Tchaikovsky. Here's Casey O'Brien. Oh,
nice
on her pocket
check.
picked. Nice play. Rosenthal has been noticeable out there, doing all the right things for Vancouver here in period number 1. Centering feed by Tchaikovsky, no one home. Race for a loose puck down with 4:08 to go here in period number 1.
Those are good details, good habits, putting your sticks in the right place to break up plays. And then you can transition and go the other way quickly.
Here's Fillier. Fillier trying to shake off a couple of checks. Channel Watkins picks that one up. Here comes the Goldeneyes in transition. Channel Watkins across the line. Continues to maintain possession. Both teams making changes. A bump by Jakes at the line. Michaela Cava spinning around. Finds a streaking in. Bell, shot, scores! Oh, Captain! Ashton Bell rings it. 2-0 Goldeneyes.
The defense shows up again for the Goldeneyes. She was bombing into the offensive zone, screaming. We heard it all the way up here. Just a nice, quick release down the wall. And Cava with a great pass. We'll see it here again. A good pinch up at the blue line. Just maintaining pressure. Nice escape here. You see defenseman cutting down. And shot. That's textbook. That's details. Excellent execution from the Captain Bell.
This is a much different looking Vancouver squad than the team that we had seen on the road over the last 3 games. And with 3:21 to go here in this opening frame, the Goldeneyes have a 2-0 lead. Behind the net, there's Bell taking a bump after scoring to make it 2-0. He's getting physical here. As Seghetti is knocked down. Here's Izzy Daniel, lost a handle on that one as Carvin gives chase. Carvin has been busy out there. Big hit by the 36-year-old.
The momentum was carrying her.
A little salty Finnish flavor for you. And we're going to get a call here Off the draw, Vancouver wins it. 3-on-2 for the Goldeneyes. Puts it in front, scores!
Wow.
How about that? Down the right side, and it is 3-0, and it's a jailbreak! A jailbreak goal brought to you by Shark Ninja. Proud to be a founding partner of the PWHL. Jailbreaking.
We love a jailbreak. That's my first jailbreak goal. I'm so excited to be here to see it. That came right off the faceoff. All three players were going. They did not care if they were on a penalty kill. They knew a jailbreak opportunity was there. Just to take a shot on net here, and it goes off the defenseman who's just selling out. You have to sell out. That was a great finish and a great faceoff win, as we were just talking about the New York Sirens and how good they are in the faceoff dot.
The home cooking paying off for Jennifer Gardner, who scores a minute and 3 seconds apart from Ashton Bell, and it's 3-comp Van City. As public address announcer, Al Murdoch is only announcing the Ashton Bell call here now, and a jailbreak goal moments ago from Jen Gardner. Here comes Hannah Miller. Miller showing her size, working it behind the net. Here's Harche. Plays that safe along the wall. An opportunity here for Taylor Gerard behind the net. Looking for help. Centering feed off a skate. Samaskevich deflects that one away out of harm's danger. Or harm's way. There we go.
Yeah.
A wordsmith.
Easy.
Here's Miller. Flips that one out. 1:25 to go here in the opening frame. All Vancouver on the scoreboard. Here's Colton Kova. Puts a wrist shot on. And the rookie stopped by Mashmeyer. Still excited about that jailbreak goal.
I know. My heart's still pounding. And this building was rocking.
And just for context, Blake, for some viewers who are just joining us and still newcomers to the PWHL, when you are shorthanded and you score shorthanded, you kill off your penalty, essentially.
Kill off your penalty. I mean, that's probably one of the greatest additions in hockey for sure.
It's amazing.
Rule.
Love it.
Because you work so hard, right? You should be rewarded for that effort.
Penalty killing at its finest for Vancouver with 42 seconds to go here. A much different first period for Brian Adelski and the Goldeneyes. Here's Levis behind the net. Took a rough hit here early going to this period, but came back.
They're not backing off their blue line.
No, here comes Gardner. Stepping in front, poked away.
Vancouver's just stepping up every pass that New York has in the neutral zone. They're stepping up, they're getting sticks, breaking up plays. Very solid.
Final seconds here, under 10 to go. Here's Bard, pushes it up. Gardner pokes that one up for Chan and sends that in, and that'll do it for period number 1. Jennifer Gardner makes it 3-0 on an unassisted jailbreak. 3-0 Vancouver. Off the draw, Vancouver wins it. Samaskevich pushes it up. Battle along the wall. Carbon, and we saw some physicality from Michelle Carbon in that first period. Took a penalty, but laying the thunder out there.
Yeah, this is what this game is all about. The physicality aspect that you can bring. You can tilt the ice if you just give a little pushback.
Vancouver battling for it. Samaskevich from behind her net. Pushed up in front. Vancouver looking to go the opposite way. As Seghetti. Noticeable out there on that shift. Samaskevich back to play it. Leaves it for Bell. Bell scoring the second goal of this one. Pushed up ahead to Jen Gardner, who's got the third goal of the game. Here's Bourbonnais. Cross ice speed. Sirens will look to go in transition here. Offside the call, just that little dance move at the line. All right, play resumes. Look at that. Blake, it's all about having fun, right?
Absolutely.
That's what we talked about. Here's Kelton Kova, intercepts that breakout. Centering feed, no one there. Gardner pushes that one out. That's center ice. Here's Bourbonnais. Transition feed, not going the way it hoped. Mashmeyer plays that, leaves it for Thompson. Colton Kova intercepts that one again. Here we go, Sirens with a chance. Wheeler from the side of the net. What a chance by Hart. She turned aside by Mashmeyer.
That was some good east to west movement. You got to get Mashmeyer to move a little bit, but she was ready for that shot.
Wheeler centering feed.
And that shot too.
New York showing that speed and tenacity that head coach Greg Fargo talked about, that his team has shown their identity in front. Oh my goodness! Another spectacular save by Mashmeyer.
She's locked in.
3 gorgeous scoring chances here in the first 2 minutes of period number 2. New York recognizing a sense of urgency, and they're playing with it. Here's Venisheva. Takes the puck off New York from her own end. Pushing it forward. Maureen put herself offside. Oh, look at this. Kaylee Osborne went down, and now a little bit of pushing and shoving is... Osborne looks a little shaken up. Is she okay?
I don't think she knew that that was happening. The play was dead.
At the line, here's Sarah Fillier pushing in to the side of the net. Back to Fillier. On the left side, back to the point. Shot in front on the backhand. Mashmeyer, Mashmeyer, Mashmeyer. That is the story in this one. Off to draw. Battled for it. Bard trying to shovel that one out. Lost her stick. Kept in at the line. Here's Fillier. Setting up again. Back to the point. Nyland Person. Back to Fillier. Centering and feed in front. Rebound. Nobody there. What a chance.
Nice chance and pass to the bumper right there from Sarah Fillier.
Here's Fillier down low. Cherkowski flipped that one up, and that goes wide.
O'Neill's taking it in front. She's getting cross-checked every which way.
Here's Kelton Kova. That goes in front. Intercepted by Rosenthal. Gardner pushes that one up and out of harm's way. Nyland Person regrouping, leaves it for Fillier, picking up some speed through the neutral zone. In on the attack. They've got just under a minute to work with here on the power play. Fired down the ice. And Osborne will come out to play that one. And Vancouver gets fresh legs out there.
There were a few opportunities for the New York Sirens to put one past Mashmeyer, but they did a good job recollecting themselves. They didn't panic in the slot. They iced the puck when they needed to. It was a solid PK.
Puck sent into the Vancouver zone. Another 25 seconds here for this power play for New York. Centering feed off a skate, and that goes out all the way down into the New York end with about 12 seconds left here on the power play for the Sirens. Here's Rose, leaves it for Wheeler. Across the line, back to even strength.
Solid kill.
Venisheva back out on the ice. New York had their chances. Shot deflected, blocked in traffic. 2 shots on goal in that power play for New York, but Mashmeyer, perfect so far. Is that the goalie jinx there when I said that?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Shut up, Sabalski. Sabalski, what am I? Here's Jakes, pushed up ahead. Here's Barine, opening the scoring in this one. Leaves it for Venisheva, and look at that. For no sooner does she step out of the sin bin than she draws a penalty as she gets tripped up on the play. City going to work here on the power play. Jakes cycling. Leaves that one for Gardner. Puts that down low, looking for Barine. He didn't like my dancing there here in the press box. Yeah, I saw that, look.
You guys didn't see me rolling my eyes either.
Amazing what the camera can hide sometimes. Here's Jakes. Leaving it for Gardner. Wrist shot. Stopped by Osborne. New York hammers it down the ice. And they'll get off the ice and get some fresh legs out there, as will Vancouver. With 1:10 to go to work with this power play. Great pursuit by Kristen O'Neill.
Jakes has been out for a very long time.
Yeah.
All of power play won. She's looking to go get a change.
Here comes Claire Thompson. Pushes that one up for Hannah Miller. Lost that one, but Karvinen picks it up. Shaking off a defender. O'Neill comes up with it. That's taken away. Cava sends that back in.
That's just good support, right? That's awareness. Cava just knows that she needs the help, and she gets it deep there. Very smart.
30 seconds to go here on this Vancouver power play. Thompson has some space. Puts it on net. That was deflected. Cava looking, waiting. Sauced that one up a little too high for Miller to handle. 9 seconds here of this power play. In front. Intercepted by Bourbonnais. And a strong penalty kill for New York to keep this a 3-0 game. Bell will play this behind the net, behind Mashmeyer. Fillier giving chase. We got the wave going on here on this Saturday afternoon inside the Coliseum. All the energy, all the feels. It's the kids' takeover here in the PWHL in Vancouver on this Saturday afternoon. Wheeler coming in on the attack, and that was intercepted as McQuaid made a nice play there. Pushed the other way. And here comes Channel Watkins. Pushed up ahead. Great feed there by McQuaid. Here's Fillier. Seen a lot of ice time so far in this one.
Yeah, I think she's double shifting, going out every other at the moment.
Chan tried to pick that one up. They lost it. Here comes Fillier. Back on the ice again. Here's Fillier. That goes off the skate of Channel Watkins, who took an awkward fall. With Wheeler giving pursuit. Here's Gerard. Leaving it for Wheeler. Back to the line. Bernard puts it on net. Blocked by Chan. Grew up in Richmond, just down about a 20-minute drive from here.
Yeah,
depending on traffic, of course.
Coach Adolski talked about Chan. I mean, that was a really good block by her, just sacrificing the body and what she's able to bring into the lineup. Consistency, you know what you're going to get. Effort, every single shift.
Here's a shot. Again, another block. Vancouver doing a good job of clogging those lanes here this afternoon. Here's Czerkowski. Back to the line. Nyland Person. Back to Bernard. Bernard. One-timer shot by Czerkowski just wide. Gardner tried to clear. No luck. Channel Watkins finally gets it out as it goes off an official's bucket. 3-0 the score here at the Coliseum. Vancouver halfway there. Back in a moment. Cebulski, Blake Golden bringing you the action here as Vancouver leads it 3-0. But Vancouver not really showing that urgency at the moment. You know, I left after the season opener here going back a few weeks ago, and the game had probably been over for about 40 minutes, and there were still about 100 people in line at the team store still after the game. Just remarkable to see how this community has embraced the PWHL here in Vancouver and Metro Vancouver, all across the Lower Mainland for that matter.
The PNE, they're ready for it.
They're ready. Let's get cracking. Seghetti really battling along the wall. Spent some time with Brian Adelski when he was coaching Team China at the Olympics in Beijing back in 2022. Back at center ice. Look who's back out there again. Sarah Fillier.
Yep. In rotation, I mean, they've got a little bit of a flow here. They're still on the outside, but they're maintaining possession. They're winning loose puck battles, and it just looks like Vancouver is just waiting for them to enter the middle of the ice. Not really engaging and using that physical presence that they did in the first.
Cava's lost her stick, gone without. Tchaikovsky back to Zandy Hart. Cross ice, Nyland Person. They've got some firepower out there for New York. It's a dangerous opportunity. New York has been the better team this period. Shot! Oh, what a save by Maschmeyer once again. I am like a broken record, but Everett Maschmeyer doing work. Down the other end. And New York has had Vancouver hemmed in their zone for most of this period. Past the midway mark. The other end. Rose tied up by Miller. Benisheva giving chase. Goldeneyes trying to turn the tide here in this period. Although they still lead by 3. The Sirens have been fighting back. Gerard dumps that one down.
There's no reason for the Goldeneyes to panic, but you look at how they're moving the puck, and it just doesn't seem as poised and patient and confident as before.
Big hit as Benisheva laying the body. Jakes at center ice. Flips that one back in. Goldeneyes will go for a change. Bourbonnais from behind her net. 8:20 to go in period number 2. Shots 7-1 here this period for the Sirens. Jakes sends it back in. Here's Gardner. On the right side, in front, Rosenthal puts it right on. Rebound, Gardner again. Oh, tried to tee up Jakes, but fan on the shot. Might have been better to just put that one on net.
Sometimes just put on net. There was a scrum in front. Anything could have happened.
Channel Watkins in front. That was blocked. And Vancouver now with some pressure.
That's where you ask the simplicity comes into factor. It doesn't always have to be pretty. Just has to cross the goal line.
Katie Chan dancing around, puts it in front. Oh, what a chance. What a save by Osborne to keep the Sirens in this. Oh, McQuaig. A gorgeous opportunity there.
Too many men they wanted.
New York looking for it.
Yeah.
As the puck went off a skate on a change. Back the other way. Puck sent back into the Vancouver end. Good stretch without a whistle here as Bell had her pocket picked by Levis.
The pace seems to have picked up a bit on both sides. A little bit more urgency and push.
We got a game here. And here comes Izzy Daniel down the right side. Took a hit by Zandy Hart. It's Nyland Person.
Fans want to call.
Yeah, everybody wants a call. Everybody's working the officials here. Thankless job, right, as a referee. Shout out to everyone, especially even in youth sports, for everyone that puts on the stripes.
I wasn't a big ref person.
I had 2 daughters who umpired there in softball this year. One's ready to do it again. The other says, no freaking way.
No way.
There's Rose. Jinsey Rose sends it back in. Here's Tchaikovsky. Centering feed for Fillier. Off a stick and over her.
That was a good defensive play. You have 2 New York Sirens backdoor waiting to tap it in. Greco just makes a good play there.
Slowing it down for Bard. And with 5:57 to go, puck goes out of play. There's a recurring story. Goaltenders getting things done. O'Brien robbed by Maschmeyer.
All night.
And Osborne says, anything you can do?
I can do better.
3-0. Vancouver leads it. Blake and James back in a second. Down low. Tchaikovsky back to Fillier. Fillier, wrist shot. Tried to go short side corner. Just missed that one. Nyland Person. Back over to Fillier. Down low, Tchaikovsky. Fillier in front, centering feed. Good stick work there by Bard. Nyland Person back at the line. Intercepted, good work. And here comes
1-1.
Cava just a little past her. As as Carvinen tried to feed that one to Michaela Cava. So about 1:15 to go here on this power play. Nice move by Cherkowski before she was bumped off the puck by 3 Goldeneyes.
Oh, interesting.
Nice play by O'Neill here. Here's Jinsey Rose. Rose back to the line. Shot again, just wide. Jinsey Rose's brother Josh Dunn playing for the Buffalo Sabres now in the National Hockey League. So lots of siblings here in the PWHL.
Lots of family connection, and that's what we like to see in cross markets. And a lot of the women on this ice probably grew up playing with their brothers and their siblings and just wanted to play pro, but there wasn't pro, and now there is. So it's really, really cool to see.
Well, a great image a few weeks ago with Mackie Samoskevich from the Florida Panthers showing up to the rink wearing a Goldeneyes t-shirt to come to the rink.
As he should.
Support and assist. We love to see it. Here's Rose. Feed went off a skate of Hannah Miller.
You take a look at Vancouver. I mean, their stick placement is very good. They're forcing New York to make, you know, passes that aren't really in their favor here and keeping them to the outside. Very active.
Oh, right on the doorstep. What a chance there. And Maschmeyer comes up with the stop again. Three shots on that power play for New York, but they continue to struggle to find the back of the net. Back at center ice, Nyland Person pushed up. As here comes Vespa with a head of steam. Takes the puck off Miller.
After the power play, you put your fourth line out there. Just try to get a little bit more energy. And there's some zone play for the New York Sirens here. And Vancouver's going to have to settle this puck down. Get it out of their zone.
Just over 3 minutes to go here in period number 2. Goldeneyes still lead 3-0. New York, the much busier team offensively, though. Long stretch feed down the wing. Shot right on Maschmeyer. Rebound turned aside into the corner.
That was a great play there. You had numbers going to the net, and instead of potentially going high, maybe you want to go a low pad to kick it out in front, create a little more chaos in front of Maschmeyer.
Yeah, Maschmeyer has not given up anything so far. Here's Bell. 2.5 to go here before the second intermission. Here's Bourbonnais. Pushes that one up to Girard. Dumps that one in. New York on the attack once again. Harche couldn't handle it. Cava brings that one up. Down the left side. Osborne out to play it. Cava getting physical. But Rose hangs on to it. Szigeti from her end. Pushes that one up. About 45 to go here. Girard will play it. Kept in by Bard. Harche. Rose lost that. Pushed back up ahead inside the New York end.
A little back and forth in the neutral zone. No one's really sustained possession in any of their offensive zones.
Yeah, a little like bumper car hockey right now. Just kind of bouncing around. Jake's pushing in. Knocking Rose down. Rosenthal centering feed. Nobody home. And here comes New York in transition. Cherkowski has O'Brien. Good back check there by Channel Watkins. Here's Simpson. On the move. Tried to go short side. Put it wide of the net. Sandy Hart now. Final minute to go here in the second. New York's buzzing. Great effort there by Chan to poke it out. New York forced to regroup. Puck stolen by Gardner. Taken right back by Simpson and sent down the ice.
Almost looks like the players on the ice are tired right now. It's a little slower, and it was a good back check by Vancouver, but they weren't aware of the numbers and the jerseys of New York behind them.
Bell pushes that up to Benisheva, and we're going to get offside on the call. Here's Goldeneyes, the first overall pick, with a head of steam before she takes a tumble. And that'll do it for period number 2. The song remains the same with Vancouver up 3-0. As somebody who's been a part of the NHL video game from EA Sports for the last several years, it was Sarah Nurse, the first ever female to grace the cover of NHL 23 going back a couple of seasons ago, and so she means so much to the sport, and obviously scored a huge goal on opening night, and I know Vancouver would love to have her back in the lineup sooner rather than later, but nice to see that she's still able to interact with fans while she's on the sidelines.
Oh, she's a hard worker, and everything that she does, she's a very impressive woman.
As we are underway with period number 3. If there was ever a sense of urgency now for the Sirens, they are against the clock now in need of 3 goals to get into this one. And Vancouver, meantime, looking for their first ever win in regulation in franchise history, as Mashmeyer will slow things down, stopping the clock with 57 seconds into period number 3.
And Goldeneyes was very upset about that. She drove the net and was held up in the slot. She looked like she wanted a penalty there.
She's got some size to her. It was a great feature that we saw in between periods, but
the size, the stature, if you have that size, you can take up space, right? And you can use that to your advantage physically. And when she has the puck, it's really hard to take it off of her stick.
Pretty fearless. Here's Gabby Rosenthal, pushes that up for Jen Gardner. Miscommunication there, but here's Chan. Katie Chan, centering feet. Oh, what a save by Osborne. Well,
nice
speaking
play.
of the devil, we were just talking about Osborne to make that save, but a great play by Chan to get things going for Vancouver.
And it was a good read. Oh, maybe another too many men. The ref don't seem to want to call that.
Oh, Vancouver getting away with another one there. And I'm sure Greg Fargo's got to be a little frustrated on that one.
Well, Dolsky's also talked about their changes, right? The details in their changes and the decisions that they've been making. And 2 chances right there for New York to go on a power play on a 2-many-man opportunity. Those are not the brain lapses that you want to have, especially if you're trying to keep the lead.
Leave the brain lapses for the broadcaster.
Exactly.
Here's another look at this here, Blake. This was something else as Osborne came ready to play in this 3rd period.
Yeah, Chan just makes a great play. Back door, and Osborne's just ready for it. It was a really good read, slide across the crease, and shut down in front for Osborne.
Off the draw, Vancouver takes it. Vanisheva puts it back to Channel Watkins, back behind the net. Miller. Here's Breen. Breen opening the scoring in this one this afternoon. Sandy Hart. There's a battle. 2 tenacious women right there with Vanisheva and Sandy Hart.
Good leaders, too.
Absolutely. Here's Vanisheva. For Miller. Up to Breen. Sends it down. Osborne will play that behind the net.
Not only is Osborne great in net, but that was a good breakout pass for her, too. Very simple, easy. Got New York up the ice quickly.
Shot there by Karvinen. That was blocked, and some pushing and shoving with Sandy Hart. Cross ice feed for Bell. Skipped over her stick. Kava back to the line. Samiskevich.
Sandy Hart's marking in front of the net. She was having a battle, a couple crossovers, and Vancouver didn't like it.
Well, these 2 teams getting familiar with each other. They just played each other a week ago. Oh, look at this chance. Karvinen! Wow. Oh, the glove save by Osborne says not this afternoon.
And even though there's 3 goals against Osborne, she's really trying to keep her team in it. A nice glove save. Karvinen just tried to go over the top. When you come out that high, they make the net really small. There's not a lot of room. So Osborne's doing a really good job anticipating, coming across her crease, and being big.
It's been like the Blizzard of Oz so far here.
Look at you.
All the one-liners here, Blake. You're wondering, how did I get stuck with this guy? All the partners.
It's been a time. We're having a time.
Of all the times out there, this is one of them.
This is one of them.
16:23 to go here in period number 3. 3-0 Vancouver. Here's Benisheva. Battling in the corner, showing that physical side as New York comes away with it. Bernard skates it up. Tchaikovsky lost that. Back the other way. O'Brien came up with that. And the kids are buzzing again for New York. Miller takes it away. For a clearing attempt. Deflected in front on the backhander. Tchaikovsky. Two good opportunities. Vancouver a little too casual in their own end, and they almost paid for it.
Casual in their own end, but also casual in the neutral zone. You have forwards that are skating backwards, just allowing New York to gain entrance easily, turning pucks over in the defensive zone. And here we have a penalty, a high stick.
We're going to get a high stick here, and it looks like...
I mean, how much more can we talk about Maschmeyer? New York knows they have to get on the board, and that's another amazing alert redirection play save. The top of her crease, I mean, it's textbook. She's ready for everything that comes her way. And here's a high stick that comes to the captain there in the middle of the ice. It didn't look intentional there, but
no,
just a little bit of a battle.
Micah Zandy Hart goes off to serve the 2 minutes here for New York as Vancouver goes on the power play. A Royal Tiger paper towel power play at that. Power through tough messes and so much more. New York comes away with it in their own end. They'll send it down the ice and shave a few seconds off this power play. Here's Thompson. Pushing it up. Karvinen couldn't handle that one. Koltakova out there on the penalty kill. We're seeing her already at first overall pick in all facets. On the power play, on the penalty kill, at 5-on-5. They're not afraid to use her.
It's the type of versatility player that you want, and that brings energy and momentum to your squad when she can execute in all those different facets of the game.
Jakes will bring it out, push that up to Rosenthal. She's got Barine with her. Minute to go here with the player advantage. Nice. Gardner. Jakes, rebound, scores! Make it a double for Abby Barine! Queen Barine strikes again, 4-0, Goldeneyes!
You saw that coming. Really good puck movement by the Vancouver Goldeneyes. And Barine gets 2. Amazing. She finds herself around the net a lot. And that's really what you want out of a power forward. D to D, across the ice, into the slot, Barine's back door. She's very smart. Smart players know where to be. They don't have to exert all the effort. Easy backdoor play for her.
Smart play. And Vancouver, a team that mustered just 2 goals on a 3-game road trip, has now doubled that output in 1 game with 4 here this afternoon against the Sirens.
And that's a response. That's a response that your team needs. The Vancouver Goldeneyes, Brian Adelsky, you get your touches, your structure in, you build off of it, and you build a foundation of what's expected. What are we able to accomplish here? Especially at home where our fans are really rooting for us.
Here comes Fillier to the middle. Whistles that one high over the head of Maschmeyer. Thompson lost her stick. I've seen a lot of players losing sticks here this afternoon.
I guess they're slippery.
Yeah. Greasy sticks. That's what it's got to be. In the middle. Slapping. Pushed up, Thompson. Want to welcome all the viewers that watched Lionel Messi and Inter Miami knock off the Vancouver Whitecaps in the MLS Cup Final, 3-1. 4-0, Vancouver leading New York here with 12:55 to go in period number 3. James Cybulski, Blake Bolden, and you just heard Brianne Foley. As this has been a response game that the Goldeneyes have been looking for. Sirens trying to push back here. Centering feed off a shin. O'Neill sends it back. Nyland Person sends it right back behind the net. Michaela Cava slams that against the wall, but that's picked up by Maddie Wheeler. In front.
Oh, just squeaked right through there.
And out of the zone it goes as Nyland Person pushes that one back up to O'Neill before taken away by Ashton Bell, the captain. Long stretch feed for Katie Chan. Couldn't handle that. Here's Karvinen, Michelle Karvinen. As she clipped Colton Kova. By the way, shout out to Michelle Karvinen, who came in with one of the coolest jackets.
Yeah.
Entering the arena.
Very
we
colorful.
were both saying.
I'm just so impressed with the style of these ladies. I mean, I used to just do a pea coat, black shirt, and call it a day. It's amazing.
You stepped your game up here for this broadcast.
Well, you know, I knew I was going to have some competition.
Bringing that West Coast flair. Here's Simpson behind the net. Bourbonnais. Chips that along the wall. Jakes goes back to get it. Colton Kova. Got a number. Cherkowski blocker stopped there by Mashmeyer. What a night. Or what an afternoon it's been for Mashmeyer.
Yeah, Cherkowski tried to go upstairs, and we talked about Mashmeyer saying no to upstairs, no to rebounds. It's very impressive. I mean, that was a point-blank shot. Just can't get by her today.
Long feed for Gardner. That is picked off by Bernard. Back behind the net. Mashmeyer will play that one. Here's Channel Watkins. Pushed up ahead for Barine. Oh, is Barine looking for that Hattie now, Blake?
Oh yeah, put her out there. Keep giving her opportunities.
Vancouver seems to sense it as they're pushing a couple of those stretch passes as we hit the midway mark of period number 3. Gerard for Rose. Takes a bump. In on the offense. Here's Hartshake. In front. O'Brien whistled that one just wide of the net. What a chance there by Casey O'Brien, the 3rd overall selection in the 2025 draft. Battle behind the net.
That was the right idea from O'Brien. She didn't try to go high. She was looking for a redeflection. I think that's what it's going to take to get by Mashmeyer's. Maybe a skate going off the defenseman. And here we have another penalty.
We're going to get an interference penalty called coming up here as New York will go to the power play with Vancouver up by 4. It's power play time for New York here, brought to you by Royale Tiger Towel, Paper Towel, power through tough messes, and so much more. Vancouver coming up with it. At the line, Nyland Person.
I mean, we said it before in New York. It feels like New York has to score on this power play. It feels like New York has to score on this power play, but they really need to have a good scoring opportunity and a chance to put one in here.
Well, Vancouver with goals 1 minute and 3 seconds apart earlier as a little DJ malfunction. We've had some board malfunctions earlier, a little musical malfunction here.
Keeping us on our toes.
You know, what do you think of the idea of music? Do you ever see a day of music playing during play? See a little bit with basketball.
Yeah.
No?
No, I don't think so. I think the arena just echoes. It's too loud, too big. I don't know. You got to hear coach, your players chatting. There's a lot of ice noise, slaps.
Well, that's a traditionalist
it seems
perspective.
Like you want music.
Oh, I like fun. I like fun.
Yeah, you do, James.
From the side of the net, back to the line. Nyland Person. Colton Kova, wrist shot, blocked.
I'm younger than you are. I'm the young gun, and I'm keeping it traditional.
An old soul,
And you
right?
want to switch it on up.
Sid Bard a little shaken up as she comes off as they're blocking that Colton Kova. Check on her on the bench. to go. 55 seconds to go here with the player advantage behind the net. Simpson leaving it. Levis battling along the wall. Maddie Wheeler trying to get it back to the line, and that's whistled down the ice right onto Osborne. And she'll play that with her Bauer stick.
Really haven't been able to set anything up and sustain something to the inside.
Well, time running out on this power play for New York. And Vancouver inching closer and closer to their first ever 3-point victory. One last rush here. Here's Wheeler. Gains the zone before she loses an edge and almost went right into the net.
Thought that might have been a cross-check call.
3 shots on goal in that last power play for New York, but nothing to write home about. And so Vancouver, they're back at home in 10 days from now against the Ottawa Charge. You can get your tickets at VancouverGoldeneyes.com/tickets. That should be a fun one. And the first 6,000 fans in the building, they get an inaugural season mini banner. So how about that?
Here we have a Bard's block right here, just selling out, doing what you need to do on the penalty kill. That gives your team energy. And Colton Kova, I mean, she's got a shot. Looks like it hit her right in the wrist area where you don't have a lot of padding there.
Bolden breaks down for Bard's block.
Bard's block. You love
alliteration.
the
Alliteration right there. Come on. All right, face off to the right of Mashmeyer inside the Vancouver end. Nyland Person.
Nice poke check.
Nice job there. Barine having herself a game. But back inside, here come the Sirens. Vespa put it in front. Bard picked that one off. Loose puck again. Red shot. Double save by Mashmeyer. Doing it again to Zandy Hart. As Zandy Hart trying to get one in front of her family and friends.
It's still to the outside, though. I'm not saying that it wasn't an incredible save, but you got to get Mashmeyer on her toes. You have to get her moving laterally. So maybe throwing it in the slot, in the crease, something like that, that throws Mashmeyer off is how they're going to be able to score.
Karvinen giving chase on that as Osborne flips that one aside to be played. Pushed up ahead. Here's Fillier.
The amount of touches that she's had, Mashmeyer, in this game is unbelievable.
It feels like it's a lot more than the 24 shots on goal that the Sirens have had. Back the other way. Here's Colton Kova trying to go inside to Fillier. Pushed aside. Seghetti lost that. Here's Simpson. Puck put on net. Jakes knocks that one aside.
You got to give it to Vancouver. They're doing a really good job.
Oh, wow! What a stop! Fillier going to the net, and Mashmeyer somehow got a skate on that one.
Now that was an incredible save laterally. I take it back.
Woo!
I take it back laterally.
Mashmeyer putting on a show. Nope. Can't get her there. Can't get her anywhere. She's rocking. 6 minutes to go in this one. Mashmeyer the story, despite the fact that Vancouver has exploded for 4 here this afternoon. Wheeler leaving it. Wraparound attempt. Stopped. O'Neill tries again.
There we go. Discipline on her post, Mashmeyer.
Jinsey Rose. That goes off the stick of McQuaig and goes all the way down deep inside the New York end. 5.5 to go in this one. Rose up to Levis. Levis chipped that one. As Daniel at center ice. Dumps that one in. Lappin going after it. Levis pushing it the other way. And here's a race for it. Bell with Wheeler in hot pursuit. Thompson pushes this one up. Bell. Oh, avoided Hartje. Put on net. And Osborne will slow it down with 4:57 to go. Mashmeyer still giving us something to talk about here, Blake. And That's the recurring theme. Mash, mash, mash. Back in a sec. It's getting festive inside the Pacific Coliseum. James Cybulski, Blake Bolden, and Emirates Mashmeyer putting on a show.
Kristen O'Neill, I mean, she tries to tuck it in with a wraparound, trying to get Mashmeyer sleeping, but she hasn't been sleeping all game. Very disciplined on her post, like I mentioned before, and just tucking her shoulder up against there. You can't go upstairs, you can't go downstairs. I can't wait to see if a goal does go in for New York, what that's going to look like.
Yeah. It's either going to be a really freaky goal, as the entire crowd inside the Coliseum, over 10,000 plus here in attendance, singing Mariah Carey's Christmas classic.
That time of year.
Can we call it a classic now?
Yeah, oh, definitely.
First of many times we will be hearing that over the next few weeks. 4.5 to go. At the line, New York clears the zone. Vancouver sends it right back in as Vanisheva sends it behind the net, and she'll go off for a change. Time not on Vancouver's side here now. Karvinen missed a poke check on that. Here comes Tchaikovsky. Really impressed. Obviously, they don't have the results offensively, but I've really been impressed by watching Tchaikovsky out there, Koltakova, O'Brien. The kids have been noticeable out there here tonight, Blake.
The kids are all right.
Yeah.
The rookies are right. They're trying to do their best to create some offense, and we talk so much about that top line, what they've been able to produce. The top six, really. And it's just one of those games where nothing's going your way. You haven't been able to get a bounce or produce on the power play.
Centering feed. Vancouver caught on a change. Here's Bell bringing it back deep. Goes for a skate behind the net. Back to Samoskevich. Working the cycle. Something Vancouver hockey fans learned to appreciate for several years with a couple of wonder twins.
Exactly.
Back to the line. Samoskevich to Bell. Puck on net through traffic, and Osborne answers the call.
Juicy rebound there.
Oh, Samoskevich misplayed that one. And with 3:06 to go, Vancouver forced to regroup. Fresh bodies. Vancouver making wholesale changes. Oh, look at this. Here comes Taylor Girard. Right on the side of the net. There's O'Brien trying. An island person trying to keep it in. Throws it back down. Channel Watkins off her skate. And she'll navigate behind her net. Trying to shake off Levis, who's been pesky. At center, Daniel pushes it up. McQuaid laying the body. Here's Daniel. Tied up by a pair of Sirens. And O'Neill will flip it up and down the ice with 2:18 to go.
And this is a time
Bodies
for
falling
Vancouver
everywhere. Yeah.
where you just want to play disciplined hockey. The simplicity is going to go very far. There's no need to give up odd man rushes, but you also don't want to be back on your heels. You still want to play hard. And you see that New York has just been able to take advantage of a little bit of sluggishness in the Vancouver Goldeneyes.
1:45 to go here now in regulation. Thompson plays that behind the net. I guess the question now is, I don't want to use the word.
No. Zip it.
Zip it. On behalf of everyone watching right now, Blake Bolden saying what everybody's thinking they want to say to Cybulski.
No, we're not thinking it. We're not saying it.
Here's Karvinen. Rosenthal, and we're going to get a call at the line. And this is where you don't want to see things get too out of home. All right. Don't forget, new episodes of Jocks and Jills with Tessa and Julia are available every Tuesday and Friday. You can tune in wherever you get your podcasts and follow them across social media at Jocks and Jills. Tessa saying no more fluffy passes, Vancouver. And you know what? I think they listened to Tessa on the podcast this week because you know what? More direct, more urgent.
More direct, more urgent, very confident. You take a look at this penalty here by Sam Miskevich. This is about the game management that we talked about earlier. That's a huge hit.
That is a big hit.
And it could be a little dangerous in that 5-foot distance away from the boards, but there's no reason to take that penalty.
Well, that's what Colton Kova got tossed for, being a little too far away from the boards and sending her opponent in a couple of nights ago. So as a result of Sam Miskevich off to the sin bin, that means it's another Royal Tiger Towel, paper towel power play for the New York Sirens. Power through tough messes and so much more. Final minute of play in regulation. Right in front of the net. What a chance there for the Sirens, and it's just not been their day. Osborne with some urgency, throwing it right back up to Tchaikovsky.
Kristen O'Neill just had it, and she was knocked over. She's had a couple of chances to get it by Mashimar, but just haven't been able to finish.
Scrum along the wall. Back to the line. Nyland Pearson hopped over her stick.
Lucky bounce. Favorable.
And offside the call with 19.4 seconds left in this one. Vancouver catching a break on that. Here was that chance moments ago to maybe finally get on the board.
Some good puck movement, right? You get it on the right post of Mashmeyer, it squeaks out in the slot, and it goes right between the feet of O'Neill. And maybe she was going in for the rebound and the puck popped out just a little too quick for her, but that's when you have those scoring eyes on. A lot of goal scorers know just keep your stick on the ice, have your knees bent, be ready for anything.
And the crowd getting loud and on their feet for the final seconds of this one. The Goldeneyes will pick up their first win in regulation. It's a 3-point victory for Vancouver and Emirates Mashmeyer. A shutout.
There you go. You can say it now.
The first shutout in Goldeneyes history. 25 saves as Vancouver takes it 4-0 the final here at the Coliseum. It was the Emirates Mashmeyer show this afternoon.
Yeah, I mean, she played fantastic. We talked about her in the open, what she's able to bring night after night. She's hot. Brian Adelsky says she's going to go in between the pipes. What she brings to the team, the leadership on the ice and off the ice. It was just tremendous. The second and third efforts from her, shut down, the rebound control, the athleticism, all the things. And I'm not a goaltender, but she is extremely impressive, and I don't know how they were going to try to score on her tonight.
For Vancouver, it was Emirates Mashmeyer paddling her way, paddling the team to victory. Abby Marine with a double shot at the other end with a pair of goals. Things were getting nasty, getting physical. Ashton Bell, the captain, getting on the score sheet. Jen Gardner with a jailbreak. This game had everything. We hope you'll join us next time. For Blake Bold and Brianne Foley, I'm James Cybulski. See ya!